Next time on D&D, Servants of the Wizard, Session 0. So originally, the Adventures game, which I also called the work game, used to be once a month pre-COVID when we were actually playing in person. We'd meet, I think it was every Tuesday, and we'd just meet at my work. All of us get together. Natalie would come in through Discord, and a lot of times I would do the feed through Twitter so that she could see what we were doing if I had a map. When COVID hit, pretty much everyone was pretty eager to keep playing more frequently than once a month because everyone just kind of needed something to do. So the work game had originally went from being monthly to becoming bi-weekly. Then after a while, several players were like, hey, we should do this weekly. But a bunch of the players have kids, wives, significant others, husbands, whatever, that keep them pretty busy. So I knew that not everyone could commit to a weekly game. So I decided I would DM what I would call the off-week game. And the basic story of the idea is it'd be brand new characters for this off-week game. And the characters would basically have these wizard tattoos on the back of their neck that somehow they all came into service of this fairly evil wizard who, whenever he wanted to, he would just summon them right back to this wizard's tower to do whatever his bidding was. And the other players had learned how to do the summoning, but for them it required at least 2 people to do the summoning, and the summoning takes an hour. Now the whole reason I did this is if someone dropped out of the game, it was just explained as the wizard summoned them back to the tower. And if someone who wasn't at the last game suddenly wants to play that week, the players could say, hey, I spend an hour, the 2 of us spend an hour summoning this other player, boom, they're in the game. Now I say the spell takes an hour in game time. This is so it doesn't break the game where someone goes to scout ahead, you know what, we haven't heard from Bob in 2 minutes, we summon him back. So that was the idea. So people could easily come in and go out of this game whenever they want, and the idea was that this game would essentially just be one-offs. Like I wasn't planning anything. The game would take place in a undisclosed time sometime in the future, so that, you know, everything was unlocked at this point in the game. Because I've been playing with the work game for, at this point, by 50 sessions. So everyone was pretty much really well versed in D&D, so I was comfortable saying, you know what, whatever you want to play, you can play, whatever class, whatever path, whatever spells, it's all unlocked. When I made this game, the idea was each session was just going to be a one-shot. So when I did the first adventure, literally the only planning I did is I opened up my book and I wrote beach, haunted house, goblins. And that was it. That was all I planned, and I knew that with the players I had that they would essentially roleplay so much I didn't really have to plan a lot. And the idea was they would encounter some goblins, there'd be a haunted house, maybe a spirit or 2 or something in there. With this party, they did so much roleplaying, they befriended the goblins, they went into the manor, found out all this extra stuff that I was just improvising as they were going. And it was so much fun. The ongoing joke with this game is the only thing evil on this island is the Sahuagin, because the parties have basically befriended everything else that they've ever encountered. They encountered kobolds, they befriended them. They encountered this, they befriended them. They encountered that, they befriended them. There are monsters that they have not managed to befriend, but the ongoing joke is essentially only Sahuagin are evil on this island. The idea of it just being a one-shot per adventure didn't work out because the writer in me wants to keep expanding, and everyone was role-playing so much in this game that it seemed to be an insult to say, all right, well, this is a new session totally unconnected to the previous one we played in. So everything just kept expanding in this game, and everything kept growing and growing and growing. And the players did so much. I can't even go into describing what has happened in this game I would normally never do in other games, like dating and romance and stuff like that. All of that stemmed in this game and did so much that I would have not have ever foreseen. So this game has been one of my favorites because of the amount of role-playing that happens in it. And I think part of that is because it is a small party. It was originally 4 people who were from the work game who decided to play, but then Natalie dropped out, so it dropped down to basically 3 players. This gives them ample time to basically bounce off of one another. No one really feels like they're hogging the spotlight. Like when you have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players, everyone's just kind of waiting for someone to finish talking. And this one, it's 3 people and they're bantering back and forth so quickly. It was so great. And I'm so glad this game is going. The entire adventure of this island, as it has grown and become more than just one-shots, it's essentially a island that they've shipwrecked on, and it's a cursed island. It's very like Curse of Strahd in a way. There is this lingering mist over the entire island. On the island, once you hit the age of 18, you cease aging. So people on the island basically always celebrate and kind of always have this like life of like, today might be my last day, because it just might be with the way how this island works. And so there's definitely like this evil presence, and the party's learning about these different factions and stuff like that. All of this was just improv as the game goes. Like, I literally plan so little for this game and just basically write down a few notes and see where it goes. Like, if they do this, maybe let's do this. If they do that, let's do that. Sometimes they'll do something that I don't even have notes or even ideas for, so I just improv something on the spot. And this game has been so fun. So the main 3 players are Jessica. No surprise, she's in all of my games. She plays a half-elf celestial warlock named Galena. Mike, who is in my work game, he plays a halfling rogue by the name of Eros. And then we have Aaron, who is also in the work game. He plays a human pack chain warlock by the name of Baldor. So that's session 0 for this one. We'll discuss more on
Last time on D&D.